Veronica Lake. Veronica Lake was once one of Hollywood's most captivating actresses, best known for her signature peekaboo hairstyle and her roles in This Gun for Hire, 1942, Sullivan's Travels, 1941, and The Blue Dahlia, 1946. Her beauty and talent made her a leading lady in the 1940s, but behind the glamour, her life was unraveling. Lake's career began to decline due to a reputation for being difficult to work with, as well as personal struggles with alcoholism. By the 1950s, her film offers had dried up and financial troubles mounted. Divorces, a string of bad investments, and her battle with addiction left her nearly penniless. In the 1960s, she was discovered working as a waitress in a New York hotel, a shocking fall from grace for a former Hollywood icon. She later attempted a small comeback, even writing an autobiography, Veronica, 1969, but it did little to restore her fortune. She spent her final years in relative obscurity and poverty, passing away from hepatitis in 1973 at just 50 years old. Once a screen siren adored by millions, Veronica Lake's life remains a heartbreaking tale of how fame can fade as quickly as it rises. Bela Lugosi, the Hungarian-born actor who immortalized Dracula, 1931, was once one of Hollywood's most recognizable horror icons. His deep voice, piercing stare, and eerie presence made him a legend in the genre. However, despite his success, Lugosi's career and finances took a tragic turn. Typecast as a horror villain, he struggled to find diverse roles, and by the 1940s, his fame had dwindled. The rise of newer horror stars left him sidelined, and he was forced to accept low-budget, forgettable films just to make ends meet. Lugosi also battled severe morphine addiction, originally prescribed for chronic pain. His financial situation became so dire that he filed for bankruptcy in 1959, revealing that he had only $1,900 in assets. Towards the end of his life, he was discovered living in near poverty, dependent on the kindness of friends and fans. His final film, Plan 9 from Outer Space, 1959, directed by Ed Wood, was a low-budget disaster, far from the grandeur of his Dracula days. Lugosi passed away in 1956 at the age of 73, buried in his iconic Dracula cape, forever remembered as a horror legend whose career ended in tragedy. Dorothy Dandridge was a groundbreaking actress, singer, and dancer who became the first African-American woman nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress, thanks to her powerful performance in Carmen Jones, 1954. With her stunning beauty and undeniable talent, she was often compared to Marilyn Monroe and Lena Horne. However, despite her success, Hollywood's racial barriers kept her from securing the same opportunities as her white counterparts. Dandridge struggled financially due to mismanagement of her earnings and a series of bad investments. After divorcing her abusive husband and losing custody of her disabled daughter due to financial troubles, she faced even greater hardships. By the 1960s, her career had declined, and she was performing in small nightclubs just to survive. She also battled severe depression and substance abuse. In 1965, at just 42 years old, Dorothy Dandridge was found dead in her apartment under mysterious circumstances. Some reports claim she died of a drug overdose, while others suggest it was due to a medical condition. Regardless of the cause, her tragic end highlighted the harsh reality of racism and the fleeting nature of Hollywood fame. Mickey Rooney was one of Hollywood's most enduring stars, with a career spanning nearly 9 decades. Rising to fame as a child actor, he became a box office sensation in the late 1930s and 1940s with his roles in the Andy Hardy films and co-starring alongside Judy Garland in musical classics. Despite his boyish charm and immense talent, his personal life was a roller coaster of financial missteps and personal struggles. Rooney earned millions during his peak, but squandered his fortune due to extravagant spending, failed marriages. He was married 8 times, and bad investments. He also became a victim of elder abuse, with his stepson allegedly stealing millions from him. In his later years, he was forced to take small television and commercial roles to survive. By the time of his death in 2014 at the age of 93, Mickey Rooney was living in a modest rental home with just a few $1,000s to his name. Despite being one of the most celebrated actors of his time, his final years were marked by financial ruin and legal battles, proving that even the brightest stars can fall victim to misfortune. Marie Prévost was a shining star of the silent film era, known for her comedic talent and captivating beauty. She rose to fame in the 1920s, appearing in hits like The Marriage Circle and The Beautiful and Damned. Her vivacious on-screen presence made her a sought-after actress, but the transition to sound films proved disastrous for her career. As the film industry evolved, Marie struggled to find meaningful roles. The loss of her mother in a tragic accident sent her into a deep depression, leading her to seek solace in alcohol. Her finances dwindled, and she eventually found herself living in poverty. With no stable income and an increasing dependence on alcohol, she became reclusive, shunned by the industry she once dominated. In 1937, at the age of 38, Marie Prévost was found dead in her small Los Angeles apartment due to malnutrition and alcoholism. It was later revealed that she had been living in extreme hardship, surviving on little more than dog food in her final days. Her tragic death served as a grim reminder of Hollywood's fleeting nature and the perils of fame without financial security. Hedy Lamarr was more than just a stunning Hollywood actress. She was a brilliant inventor whose contributions changed the world. Rising to fame in the 1930s and 1940s, she captivated audiences with her performances in films like Algiers, Samson and Delilah, and Ziegfeld Girl. Her beauty was legendary, and she was often regarded as one of the most glamorous actresses of her time. However, behind the dazzling exterior was a woman of immense intelligence. During World War II, she co-invented a frequency-hopping communication system, a technology that later became the foundation for modern Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS. Despite this groundbreaking achievement, she received little recognition and no financial compensation for her work. As her acting career declined, Lamarr's wealth diminished. She struggled with financial instability, legal troubles, and reclusive behavior. By the 1980s, she was living in near isolation, relying on Social Security checks. Though she received some recognition for her inventions later in life, it was too late to change her financial circumstances. Hedy Lamarr passed away in 2000, a forgotten genius whose technological contributions were far more significant than her Hollywood fame. Sammy Davis Jr. was a trailblazer in the entertainment industry, known for his incredible singing, dancing, and acting. As a member of the legendary Rat Pack alongside Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, he was one of the biggest stars of the 1950s and 1960s. His hits like The Candyman and Mr. Bojangles cemented his place as a music legend, while his roles in films and Broadway productions showcased his immense talent. Despite his fame, Davis faced numerous struggles. As a black entertainer in a racially segregated America, he had to fight for respect and equal treatment. He was also a victim of financial mismanagement. His lavish lifestyle, combined with bad investments and excessive spending, drained his fortune. By the late 1980s, Davis owed millions in back taxes to the IRS, forcing him to sell off assets, including his beloved home. In 1990, Sammy Davis Jr. was diagnosed with throat cancer. He passed away the same year, leaving behind a complicated legacy, one of immense talent and influence, but also of financial hardship. Despite his struggles, he remains one of the greatest entertainers of all time. Judy Garland, the beloved actress and singer, captured hearts worldwide with her unforgettable role as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, 1939. With a voice that could move audiences to tears and a career spanning film, television, and music, she became one of Hollywood's brightest stars. However, behind the dazzling performances was a life marked by immense hardship. Garland was introduced to amphetamines as a child star under the strict control of MGM Studios, which pushed her into a cycle of addiction and emotional turmoil. Despite her success in films like A Star is Born, 1954, and Meet Me in St. Louis, 1944, financial instability followed her. She faced multiple divorces, mismanagement of her earnings, and overwhelming debts. By the 1960s, Garland struggled to find work, often taking low-paying performances just to survive. She was frequently evicted, and even performed in nightclubs to pay off debts. Tragically, in 1969, she died of an overdose in London at just 47 years old. Judy Garland's legacy remains one of extraordinary talent and tragic struggles, a reminder of the dark side of Hollywood's golden age. Errol Flynn, Hollywood's legendary action hero, was the face of adventure in classics like The Adventures of Robin Hood, 1938, and Captain Blood, 1935. His dashing looks, charm, and sword-fighting prowess made him one of the biggest stars of the golden age. However, behind the glamorous image was a life riddled with scandal, excess, and financial ruin. Flynn lived extravagantly, indulging in fast living, heavy drinking, and reckless spending. His off-screen reputation as a womanizer and his legal troubles, including a highly publicized statutory rape trial, damaged his career. Though acquitted, his image never fully recovered, and he struggled to find roles in later years. By the 1950s, Flynn's lavish lifestyle had drained his fortune. He was forced to take second-rate roles, and his health deteriorated due to alcohol and drug abuse. In 1959, at the age of 50, Flynn died of a heart attack, nearly penniless. Despite his tragic downfall, Errol Flynn remains an iconic figure in Hollywood history, a reminder of both the dazzling highs and devastating lows of fame. Frances Farmer was a rising star in the 1930s, known for her striking beauty and rebellious spirit. She appeared in critically acclaimed films like Come and Get It, 1936, and Rhythm on the Range, 1936. However, her refusal to conform to Hollywood's expectations and her outspoken nature made her a controversial figure in the industry. Farmer struggled with alcoholism and erratic behavior, leading to frequent clashes with studios. By the early 1940s, her personal and professional life spiraled out of control. She was arrested multiple times for disorderly conduct, and her mental health deteriorated. Eventually, she was institutionalized for years in a psychiatric hospital, where she allegedly endured horrific treatment, including electroshock therapy and possible lobotomization. When she was finally released in the 1950s, Farmer attempted a modest comeback, but her past haunted her. She lived in near obscurity, working as a hotel clerk to support herself. She died in 1970 from esophageal cancer, largely forgotten by Hollywood. Frances Farmer's tragic life became a symbol of how the entertainment industry exploited and discarded its stars, and her story continues to resonate as a cautionary tale of fame's dark side.